Okay, so in this lesson, we're going to be looking at facts and opinions in passages. So like we've done before, I'm going to read through a couple expository texts. You should open this video up in one tab, open the passage up in the other, because you're going to need to look at some of those text features to help you understand and make sure you're following along. So there's two of them. I'll read it, you'll pause, answer the question, then come back and play it for the second passage. The first passage, it says up top, it says, read an excerpt from a textbook about the reasons why people move to the state of Texas. So we have moving to Texas. People from all over the world are coming to Texas each year. Some come on vacation or to visit friends. Others visit in order to do business. However, about 500,000 people every year move to live in Texas. Why? They want a better life for their family. There are many reasons why new residents are attracted to Texas. Let's explore several of these reasons. Texas is located in the Sun Belt. This is an area that gets a lot of sunny weather. Some new residents want to avoid the long winters experienced in northern states. The Census Bureau reports that this is one of the fastest growing areas in the United States. Living in the Sun Belt also benefits farmers. The warm weather creates a longer growing season. While parts of Texas are dry, irrigation and the long growing season allow farmers to harvest a large crop. Texas has a central location that is easy to reach. It is located equally between the east and west coasts. This can have several benefits. Businesses can quickly deliver to almost any state. It also makes it easy for people to travel to other cities. Texas has many ports on the coastline. From these ports, ships can access all the other countries in the Western Hemisphere. Texas has a favorable cost of living. This means that it costs less to live in Texas than in some other places. Texas is a large state with plenty of room for all its people. Therefore, land costs less in Texas than it does in most other states. Texas has strong health, oil, and technology industries. These industries provide many well-paying jobs. With low cost and good paying jobs, is it any wonder that people are moving to Texas? People can use the internet to do research about Texas. Information from the internet can help people decide if they want to live there. The Texas government has its own website. The website shows several attractive features about Texas. Hundreds of other websites have a lot of useful information about Texas news and weather. People are able to learn a lot about Texas from the comfort of their own home. They can even get this information on their cell phones. They can learn about the state while traveling almost anywhere in the world. Getting around Texas. Transportation is very important to any community. Without proper transportation, communities could not grow. When roads are too crowded, people cannot get to work. People often move away from areas where there is not proper transportation. Transportation also helps businesses deliver their products. International airports and shipping ports allow Texas businesses to ship products all over the world. As a large state, transportation is very important to link Texas cities. Good roads and airports allow Texans to travel quickly from one place to another. Texas officials use census data to plan where they will build roads, highways, railroads, and airports. Okay, so go ahead and pause, do your 5 questions on this passage about facts and opinions, and then come back and we'll do the second passage. Okay, so it says this next story is about a special problem encountered when sailing. The title is How to Sail Directly into the Wind. Sailing can be a fun and relaxing hobby, and many people love spending time on the water. They love the idea of using the wind to power their boat, and they love the quiet of moving swiftly across the water without a noisy engine. One difficulty that comes up is that of sailing directly into the wind. If the wind is blowing steadily, it is coming from just one direction. It's easy to sail directly downwind because that is the way that the wind is blowing. You can just set up a sail and ride it downwind. The fastest way to sail is across the wind. The wind will push harder against the sail and force the boat through the water. Even when sailing downwind, most sailors will sail at a slight angle to the wind to create more push. But if you've sailed downwind for a distance, how do you get back to where you started? Well, you could wait until the wind changes, but that might take a while, say a month. Therefore, you must find a way to sail in the direction that is against the oncoming wind. The process of sailing against the wind involves two ideas. The first is beating to windward, and the second is tacking the boat. These ideas are related, so let's explain how they work. First, you cannot really sail directly into the wind. The wind will only move the boat backwards. Second, we are going to assume you are not going to fire up an outboard motor and head upwind. Cheating. Beating to windward. The idea of beating to windward means sailing a course that will allow you to move in the direction from which the wind is coming. Remember that a sailboat can move in a direction that is across the wind. Therefore, if the wind is blowing from the west toward the east, you want to sail the boat across the wind. You can do this by setting the sails and steering the boat to the northwest or the southwest. That allows the boat to move at least somewhat in the direction from which the wind is blowing. At some point, you will then turn the boat across the wind and head in a different direction. Let's say you were sailing southwest. You would turn the boat to starboard, to the right when facing the front or bow of the boat, and sail northwest. Next, you would move to the port, left side when facing the bow, and sail southwest again. You would continue to move the boat back and forth against the line that is formed by the direction the wind is blowing. You're really going to want to look at the passage because there's a diagram to explain that, because I feel like in the text that I just read, it just gets really jumbled. Tacking. The term tacking means that you turn the boat into the wind, losing all the wind from the sail. You use the boat's forward motion to keep the boat moving while the sail is empty. Then you turn the boat until the wind once again fills the sail. This is the basic maneuver or series of steps you would use to follow a course that is beating the wind. If you have a very narrow channel or path for sailing, you will have to make many tacks in order to sail upwind. If you have a wide path like the Atlantic Ocean, you can just set a course that will allow you to sail for a long time in one direction. However, if you were sailing in a lake or on a river, you may have to change course through tacking many times before you reach your destination. Beating to windward is slow work. Hopefully, you have brought along plenty of sunscreen, food, water, and perhaps a good book. Watch out for those speedboats. Okay, so now you've got a couple more questions on that.